Hi my friends, how are you? I hope everybody's fine. My name is Daniel Villarino. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first project for the year, so to everybody, happy 2017. Several weeks ago, I bought a couple of mechanisms to do a pepper mill and a salt mill. And basically they are these. I will put the place where I bought them in the description. The one for the pepper mill is in metal. They are identical except that the one for the salt is in ceramic, because salt is corrosive, so the ceramic mechanism is going to last longer. So what do we need to do these pepper mills? Besides the mechanisms, we are going to need a Forstner bit of 1 inch and 5/8 of diameter. We are going to need another Forstner bit. This one has a diameter of 1 inch and 1/16 of an inch. And then a regular bit which is 9/32 in diameter. We are also going to need a couple of pieces of wood. The recommendation is that the section for the pepper mills should be at least 2.5 by 2.5 square, and in the instructions they say that it should be 1 inch longer than the size of the pepper mill. But doing the diagrams, I found out that if you leave it 1.5 inches longer, it will be better. Since these pepper mills are going to be 8 inches tall, I have cut this piece 9.5 inches in length. I have marked already the centers on both sides, and because of the shape that I want to give to these pepper mills and salt mills, I selected these to be 3 inches by 3 inches, a little larger than the ones that are recommended in the instructions. So I have the maple one for the salt mill, I have purple heart for the pepper mill, and also I have another piece of maple that I am going to use later for a jump chuck. We will see how this works. Some people consider these projects to be a little complicated because of all the steps that are required, but in this video I would like to give you a simple methodology of how to perform them. I have made a PowerPoint presentation and I would like to show you this briefly, but if you want it, you can send me an email to the address that appears on the description and I gladly will send it to you. In the first image you can see that I already have rounded the blank and I converted it in a cylinder which has approximately 2 inches and 3/4 in diameter. In the next image you can see that using these measures I have performed 2 tenons, one on each side of the cylinder and an additional one in the middle that is going to be used for the body of the pepper mill. Then I have made another tenon, this one a cylindrical one of 1 inch and 1/16, that is necessary to put that piece inside the other one once we are doing the turning. And you can see next to that a gray area which basically is the space that we are going to use to separate the body from the head of the pepper mill. Once we have it separated, we are going to work on the body first, and I am going to turn it around. I am going to hold it by the tenon that is labeled with a B, because that way if the wood has a particular grain you can keep it. In this case I don't think any of the woods I am using have a very different grain or particular lines that I want to match, but still I'm going to do the process that way. On the A side I'm going to make a perforation of 1 inch and 1/16, about to half the length of the blank. Then I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to hold it on the A side And this time on the B side I'm going to make a perforation of 1 inch and 5/8 of an inch. This perforation has to be 3/4 of an inch deep because the tenon is 1/4 of an inch and I want at the end to have 1/2 an inch, so I do it 3/4 of an inch. When I remove the tenon, the remainder of the perforation is going to be just 1/2 an inch. And then I complete the 1 inch and 1/16 perforation all the length of the body. With this we have already the body, and we need to eliminate the tenon on the B side, so I do that. And for doing that I use the conic life center. I remove the tenon and then I am going to work on the head of the peppermill. And I will hold it using the tenon, and then I will make a perforation all through that is going to be 9/32 of an inch deep. Then I'm going to make a jump chuck using a piece of maple that I have, like a sacrificial block or something like that. And you can see there the dimensions that I need for that jump chuck. And once I have it ready, I'm going to put there the body of the peppermill, and using the conic life center I'm going to eliminate the other tenon. That way I can fit there the head. I put back the conic life center, and once again I eliminate the other tenon. With this I have eliminated all the tenons, and having the two pieces held by the jump chuck on one side and the conic life center, I can proceed then to turn the body of the peppermill and also the head, basically the whole shape. And here your imagination is the limit. I have selected a very simple shape which I think is pretty elegant, and I am giving you here the dimensions, the main dimensions at the different lengths from the base to the head and the diameters that I want to achieve. And the next couple of images basically give you some dimensions that you may want to have handy when you are making the turning. So I'm going to make first the one for the salt because it's in maple, and the lines in the pencil lines are going to be easier to read on the clear wood. But the process is going to be identical for both peppermills. So this is today's project. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to work. I mount the maple blank between centers and I begin to turn at about 2000 RPMs to shape the blank as a cylinder. I transfer the measurements from the diagram to the wood cylinder. I forgot to mention that before marking the measurements, I ensure to face and square each end of the cylinder. I start the process of separation, but stop well before I completed it, because first I need to do some tenons and reduce material in parts of the cylinder. I measure the size of the tenon in the caliper, and I remove material using a skew chisel that has a cut angle equal to the angle of the dovetail in the chuck jaws. I make a tenon of 1 inch and 1/16 in the head of the grinder. It is worth to take your time and achieve the desired measure, so I stop and measure several times with the caliper until I achieve it. Finally, I can complete the separation cut. I take it as much as I can with the parting tool, and I finish it with a hacksaw. I hold the middle body by the B tenon, and I start at the 1 inch and 1/16 perforation until a little more than half the way of the blank. Now I turn around the cylinder of the mill body, and I make in the other end a perforation of 1 inch and 5/8 until a depth of 3/4 of an inch. Now I make a perforation of 1 inch and 1/16 until I reach the one I did from the other end. With the support of the conic live center, and very carefully, I remove the tenon. Now I hold the mill head to make a perforation of 9/32 of an inch in all its length. 5/8 and the smaller 1 inch. Once again, with the help of the conic life center, I remove the tenon on the other end of the mill body. I try the fit of the mill head in the mill body, and I see that it is a bit tight. So, with sandpaper I will remove material little by little until the movement flows well. Now I can remove, finally, the tenon in the mill head. With the whole set held between the jump chuck and the life center, I can now throw up everything. With the help of the diagram, I will mark now all the measurements and the diameters to which I have to take each part to facilitate the shaping of the mill. Once I have removed the material in the transition points, it is now just a matter of connecting one with the next to obtain the desired shape. I am sanding with the 80 grit Abranet. On the lathe bed you can see the grit 100, and I will go through all the grits up to 600. The mechanism consists of the ceramic mill in two pieces, a U-shaped bracket, a mill head driving washer, a spring, the axis and its regulation nut, an annular bracket, and several screws. We will need an awl, a couple of screwdrivers, and a drill. We place the driving washer centered in the mill head tenon, and with the awl we mark the position of the screws. With a hardwood, like the maple, it is convenient always to make pilot holes for the screws. I screw the driving washer in the tenon of the mill head. I mark and do pilot holes for the annular bracket that will be placed in the base of the mill body. This step is very recommended, since the screws will be placed very close to the central perforation of the mill body, and without the pilot holes we have a big chance to crack the wood. The small screws that came with the set were of very bad quality. Fortunately, I had some good screws of similar size at home. I pass the threaded end of the axis through the widest part of the internal ceramic piece of the milling mechanism. Now, I thread the axis through the thinner part of the spring, which has a slightly conic shape. I place the U-shaped bracket in the hole of the mill body base, with the flanges of the U-bracket legs at a 90-degree position respect to the pilot holes. Now, I place in the hole the external ceramic milling piece, with the recesses aligned with the pilot holes. I pass the threaded end of the axis through the hole in the U-shaped bracket. I turn around the mill body and I pass the threaded end of the axis through the driving washer, and I secure it in the top of the mill head with the regulation nut. Now I can screw to the base the annular support bracket. And so the salt mill is ready. While I show some shots of how to take to the right measure different parts of the purple hard mill, I would like to explain that when we are reducing material from a part where there will be a bead, we can center the width of the parting tool in the middle of the reference line we had marked for that particular diameter. The diagram shows in light blue the wall of the cylinder, in yellow the final shape we would like to achieve, in dark blue the pencil reference line we had marked before, and in red the width of the parting tool. If we are removing material from a place where we have a descending curve, we want all the width of the parting tool towards the side of the reference line we had marked before, where we have the lower part of the shape we want to achieve. fill up the mill, we unscrew the regulator nut and remove the mill head. We fill with pepper grains or coarse salt the hole where the mill axis goes, leaving enough space to place back the mill head tenon. We place back the mill head and we screw the regulator nut, and we are ready. Okay, my friends, there you have it, the salt mill and the pepper mill. This one in the pepper. This one in maple and this one in purple heart. I'm going to put some pictures at the end, and also I will put there some pictures of the subscribers of the channel. Santiago from Toledo, Spain, has made this beautiful segmented vase in fir tree and ebony with black cardboard and plastic separators. Great job, Santiago! Heinrich from Santiago de Chile has made this nice African cedar jewel box. You can see the process in his YouTube channel. Very good, Heinrich. Antonio from Murcia, Spain, did this segmented vase 32 inches tall in Coto and Sapelli. Really wonderful, Antonio. Jorge from Buenos Aires, Argentina, made this double tray with recycled wood. It looks phenomenal, Jorge. And Jose Luis from Teruel, Spain, made for the ladies in his family this series of medallions using eccentric turning and epoxy filling. Amazing work, Jose Luis. And here you can see some pictures of the finished pepper and salt grinders. Okay, I hope you enjoy the pictures. The truth is that these works are really good, and also the video for the salt and the pepper mills. If that's the case, please mark the like button down below, make comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. And it will be until the next one. Cheers!